Oh, what? Is there a penalty on the play already? What's going on over there?
It's been a frustrating week of football. I'm trying to map out defensive stuff for the Steelers. Like tackle, go to where the guy is and tackle. As I'm pointing in the wrong place, that's what they've been doing, running to the wrong place.
I think the problem is they've been following your instruction. That's the problem. You've been doing it, and they've been following it not correctly.
Frustrating week 2.
Yeah.
Week 1, very good. Week 2,
yeah.
I mean, week 1 was kind of an ugly win, but it was a win. Week 2,
W is that they look beautiful. You can't tell how ugly they are. Yeah. Well, at least you got a dub. Yeah. So I think the bus, plane, whatever the case may be, of the Dolphins showed up, and people forgot to get on it, and people forgot to get off of it, and it's a struggle big time. And not to go forward thinking, but it's going to be a sad Thursday, and going up against Buffalo, and so one of our paraprofessionals in our building, her husband's a big time Bills fan, and I said, just to tell your hubby, call Alan and say, hey, just take it easy this week. And her message back the next week was, yeah, we're going, we're gonna take what we get. We're gonna go full bore. We're not gonna go lightly. And I looked at her. I said, I was just asking to be nice, and I hope nothing happens to their quarterback. And I don't want it to, but he didn't return the niceness. So, I don't know. It's gonna be crazy. But yeah. So the frustrating times on the playing field, on the gridiron. Yeah. Who do you guys got coming up this weekend?
We have. Who do we have? I have a total mind blank. We were just talking about that because I'm in a survivor pool at work. We're just playing for fun and games, and I'm not confident picking the Steelers. I'm not confident picking against them because they could pull it out. I want to say I don't think it's the Bears, but because we were looking, Joe Burrow's out for like 3 months,
12 to 14 weeks. Yeah.
And, well, here's the scary thing. One of the greatest middle linebackers in the NFL history, Jack Lambert, retired because of turf toe. Granted, it was back in the 70s, 80s where they didn't have the medical things they have now, but he retired. The Bears quarterback, we play them coming up, and there's a couple other quarterbacks we play coming up.
We got repeat from The Rock. I don't know. Did you put this on the screen yet?
Oh, no, but I did get a text.
Oh, okay.
I did get a text that, hey, we commented. Where's our comment?
I'm going to put a star next to that comment. Very good. All right, Miss Cross. I like that. Keep those texts flying. Keep them in check. So I listened to the Adam Schefter podcast. I was listening out on the way home from school, and I didn't realize this. They said after the 2 Super Bowls ago, after the Chiefs, I guess they won that one 2 Super Bowls ago. After that win, Mahomes had surgery on his toe for turf toe, and going into preseason, he was on limited, and within the first week, he wasn't even full go. So yeah. I mean, it could be serious, but yeah. So you take him out of the equation, but you got to listen. 33-27. The Dolphins were up maybe once in the game, but against the Patriots. Patriots not looking so good. You got the Patriots this week when I looked it up.
But that's why I don't. That's why I didn't remember, because my psyche it represses the Patriots, because for so long we won one game up there. It was a game I don't even think Brady played in it, and it was like we have an abysmal record up there.
Sure. Yeah, and the Dolphins have like the pull it out from somewhere record against the Patriots at times. Some kind of crazy ones, and even the Bills. But again, bottom line is, you're a fan of the sport, and there's a reason why they lace up the cleats. The reason why they put the pads on and they play the game. And on any given Sunday, on any given Thursday, Monday, heck, we got Fridays this year, Saturdays. Who knows when they're playing? But any game, any given day, you can win it out. The ladies close. Who does Slippery Rock have this weekend? Let's see if they come through.
Slippery Rock won last week the home opener in overtime.
Yeah.
I I really don't want to talk about Buffalo too much because one of our good friends is a big Buffalo fan, but he never comments on the podcast. So I should rep his team. He's not commenting.
Okay. Ye of little faith, your Steelers friends are coming forward.
Because
ye of realistic faith, is that what we're going with?
I have to say, Aaron Rodgers, he was moving well in the pocket. He didn't have great numbers the first half of the game, but he played really well. Like it's one of those games where, doesn't rack up big numbers, but he was effective. A couple drops, like the one pick wasn't his fault. At least the one pick wasn't his fault. The other pick was in garbage time. Like the ball was tipped. That's my biggest pet peeve and it's happened to a couple quarterbacks this weekend where ball hits the receiver, pops in the air, and it gets intercepted, and they blame it on the quarterback. I'm like, that's a receiving.
Yeah, it's unfortunately the stat goes to the quarterback, but just last night, the first play of the game, deflected off of two people, picked off, right away. And and Baker we trust is Tampa Bay right now. Holy moly, what a game. Yeah. It reminds me of the John Elway days. You give them with, a little over a minute to go in the fourth quarter, down by, 6 or less. Yeah, the game's over.
There was a great meme about, everyone was talking about what, Baker Mayfield, what he's overcome to have the career he's having. And someone posted, when all he's overcome is going away from the Browns. I have a lot of family.
According to the commercials, he had keys. He had keys in Progressive Insurance there. I mean, come on now.
I have a lot of family and friends up in Cleveland, and I always give them a hard time because why not?
The home of 14 quarterbacks this year.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you need to let your daughter and her roommates know they were slacking a little bit. I didn't get a reply about Slippery Rock, but turns out Bloomsbury University against Slippery Rock. Looks like we got what day was this? The last game of the season, so it could change because I know sometimes East and West, but Senior Day, Military Appreciation Day. So I don't know. Right now, Bloom started 0-2, so not good. Overtime loss in the first one by 1 point, and 28-31 loss in Seton Hill University. So there we go. Our football talk. But, weather's weird. We got some rain coming through. We got some chill. I mean, I appreciate the chilly weather. I mean, I got a beard built for that. And you guys still got your pull up. Is that the word? You still have that rolling? It
was 85 degrees yesterday. It's 82 today. We're in a drought. We're not getting rain until Sunday or Monday of next week, and it's going to be in the 80s all week, high 70s, low 80s. So the pool is still open. Yeah, we're in that gray area kind of a deal, and you wake up and it's chilly, and you get home you're driving home from school and you're sweating. Yeah, it's just the crazy times. Oh, I'm digging it. I don't have to take my coat into school anymore because I don't have bus parking lot duty. So I've been sporting. I go in the short sleeves. It's like 40 degrees, and I'm like, nope, I only got to walk across the parking lot. I'm not wearing a coat. I'm loving it. After like 20 some years, I don't have to wear a coat just because it's a little bit chilly. I'm not standing out in the weather for a half hour. Yeah, well, that's good stuff. The Slippery Rock crew, it is Shippensburg University. The answer is Shippensburg University. Slippery Rock plays this week. They do not get the extra points, extra credit points. We will message their professors, wipe those scores off the grid. Well, listen, man, what day of the week is it? Because we're talking football, and it's weird because there was 2 football games, but I believe they were both Monday nights, right? Yeah, that makes it Tuesday. And it's not an even Tuesday. It's a odd Tuesday. I had my club meeting this morning, so that makes it the 3rd Tuesday. So I think it's time for the PAECT pod. Let's roll it. Welcome to the PAECT pod, a show for educators by educators.
My name is Eric Verno. I'm the president of PACT, and with me, as always, is my vice president,
Dom Salvucci. I am vice president of PACT and high school history teacher by day.
Oh man, look at that! All right, yes, and the co-host of the PACT pod. So we truly appreciate you being here. This is episode 87. We called the Tech Toys of Summer. Cue your Don Henley feels and have it rolling. And we are being bombarded with the old school Red Raiders and cranking out some ship noise. No hippo, but yeah, we got the Raiders. All right, so we're going to be talking tonight about different tech toys that we've been looking at, different things that we're utilizing, whether it's in our classroom. And, there's an element of like, hey, are we using it for fun? So but let's talk about school, man. So the year started. You're free from working the parking lot or the bus line duty or the parent line duty. So how's that treating you?
Good. I have I miss saying hi to the kids. That was like the high, as corny as that sounds, but the kids getting out of the car, hey, how's it going? Happy Monday, happy Friday, Friday Eve. Kids getting out of the car, kids getting off the bus. I still get pulled for the bus evacuation drills, but as a almost senior citizen member of the bus evacuation team, I get to be one of the people going on the bus. But I've been cluing in some of the younger teachers that are just starting this year, and they come out. I'm like, they're kind of lingering in the back. Is get up front. Like, what do you mean? This is first couple buses, 5, maybe 6 kids. You want to have those kids get off the bus, and while you're doing that, the bus with 30 pulls up, and you let someone else who's not paying attention deal with like 35 kids getting off the bus. And that happened. They're like, you weren't kidding. I'm like, nope. Been doing this for a number of years now. There's a method to the madness.
There always is. There's no process. There's no procedure. There's no formality, but there is. There's a secret sauce you got to be paying attention to. So that's funny. So that's good. But yeah, the senior, they looked at you and said, I guess the hair is not colored. It's legit, huh?
Yeah. I still have some of it, but I still have morning duty, but it's inside the building, so it's nice.
Yeah. No, I love it. I stationed outside my classroom, got my cup of coffee going. It's been the PACT mug the last couple of days, and kids are going by, and I'm always, saying good morning, good afternoon, gesundheit, whatever, just something random to kind of wake them up as they're heading up to get breakfast and come back and keep them moving along and getting, always shocking them, scaring them, because it's tough for me to be quiet. I know that's hard to believe, but it is tough to stay quiet. But yeah, to make sure they're awake and ready to go for the day. So it's a good time.
Because you're a different beast. You're the younger grades.
I know. Yeah, I get so dealing with 6th grade, but I have the 4th and 5th graders that walk by. So it's funny.
Oh, wow.
Some of them look, they're very excited to say hi to me as opposed to the students that are coming to my classroom. Sometimes they're not so happy to say hi to me. And and you get like, do you know my brother? What's your brother's name? Say, oh yeah, I think they're in my class. And I'm like, do you admit you're his sister in public? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, you are a brave one. You are brave. Go get your breakfast. That's good stuff. Like just random stuff to get them laughing. They're like, and then you hear them the next day. They're like, what did you say to my sister? Did you say I was bad? I said, I didn't say you were good. I was just curious. And they were talking. It's hilarious. So I think good.
I got one of my students all irate. I've had 3 of the 4 sisters so far. The third one's in my class now. Unbeknownst to the current student, but the older students know that I had their parents in class. So
close.
3 of the 4 sisters come in. The one I haven't had yet, she's still in the middle school. And they start, who's your favorite? Who's your favorite? And they're back and forth. And I'm like, I don't want to say. And they're like, who's your favorite? I'm like, I shouldn't say, it's unprofessional. Oh, come on, we won't. I'm like, your dad. And the look on the ones I'm like, I taught your dad years ago. I said, you pushed me. I got to go with your dad. We got along great. He started laughing. Says, your sister didn't tell you? No. I'm like, sorry.
That's funny.
She was like, next day, she's still like pouting. She like, I don't want to talk to you.
Mm-hmm. You're not on her good list. That's funny. That's good stuff. You got to love having those moments. And then Friday night football's kicked in, as far as high school football. So we still, unlike the NFL, our school still has the chain gang rocking. Long. It's been a while since I've seen that name pop up on the comments list.
Oh,
And
yeah.
all right, how we doing, Gina? And so they have faculty doing the chain gang. So it's myself, a former student a former football player of mine, and then his son's in my classroom this year, and he helps out, and then a retired teacher. So we have a good time. We say like between the three of us, it's like 40 years of coaching. Retired teacher, coach baseball and stuff, and with myself and the other guy coaching football. But we have it's interesting time to be a ref. In all levels of sports, and but we always try to make sure we encourage, help coach the refs a little bit, and sometimes there's good sidelines, sometimes there's rough sidelines, but it's funny because I'm at the point now where if I'm watching the game, one of those guys are like yelling, Verno, are you going to look back? The kids are screaming for you, and like former students, current students are yelling, and I have a thing that
you're locked in.
I tell them, yeah, how about it, right? Locked in, as they say, and back in action. There we go. And but I have a thing where our team name is the Initiative. So if a student or just relatively 7th, 8th grade, if I see him at a game, I'll take a picture. I'll say, I'll do a selfie with you guys, and I'll send it to the team, tell them you said hi. And I call it Initiatives in the Wild. And then if it's a student that graduated and I take a selfie to send the team, I just tell them it's a Verno survivor, that they survived it, they made it through they're on the positive side of school and a productive citizen of the U.S. and doing a great job. So it's pretty funny, but I always, and some of the kids I'll say, the parents are there, I'm like, I'm going to take a selfie, I'm going to send it, and then I'll delete it off my camera roll so it's not there, just in case if they have, concerns or whatever. But, yeah. But that's always pretty funny. So there's always a lot of kids that want to have a picture sent, and then depending on if they're being goofy or not, it might end up on my Monday morning slide in my homeroom. So they'll check to see if there's any football pictures up there. But that's always a neat time to stay in contact. And for me, coaching for 18 years and not coaching the last several years, like I'm still kind of connected, involved. Like the one coach I coached against many years ago, and I was, a couple of things that some of his players were doing. Hey, you got to talk to them. They're offsides. Like, this ref's being nice, but I would have called you 3 times already. Oh, well, thanks. They pull them to the side. Yeah. Or, hey, I was the line guy. Get their hands up. They're not popping their hips, like coaching them up. And then he'll go coach his kids. Like, I'm not going to talk to kids. And if they know me real well, sometimes they'll walk the player to me. I've been saying these things to them for the last 2 weeks. Can you talk to them? And then, they'll listen to an outsider, not their coach kind of. So that's kind of fun. That's always a good time. And although it was a rough game, but not the roughest game in Pennsylvania. I don't know. Did you see, and we didn't talk about this in the pre-show, what the largest margin of loss or margin of victory, depending on which team you're talking about, was this past weekend in high school football?
No.
Close to 3 digits.
Oh, wow.
And at halftime, the score was 63-0. When the final buzzer went off, 91-0. One of our teams in the area, and a team that's a school that's rebuilding and brand new staff trying to figure it out, but 91-0.
Hopefully,
crazy.
Hopefully they were running like the younger kids in. Yeah, no, because like there are coaches that
I know.
Yeah, there are coaches that they run the score up with the starters, and there's the other ones. And like I always said, because watching some of the games, and it's like parents get mad. They're running the score, but like they have their 4th stringers in, or they have like we're double A school, so we're on the border of JV or some of our JV kids play up. They have the younger kids in. You can't tell them not to score,
right?
Because that's not fair to the kids. Like, we want you to go in, but we don't want you to play, and that's when people get hurt. So
yeah. Miss Halcott knows about that. So I'd like to say I wasn't there, and I would hope that you're right. The 2nd, 3rd, 4th stringers were in, maybe after the 63-0 halftime, possibly. But knowing the staff
will have to kick in.
It's a running clock. If you're up by 40 points, I think it is. It's a running clock second half. 35 or 40. It could be 35. Yeah. I haven't looked it up in a while. That would have won in, but I will say, just knowing the head, I doubt they weren't really, having those guys in and just grinding it out and teaching them. It was still a run and gun. But anyway, so we were able to sneak because it relates to school. So we were able to, that's like extra quarter. That's like extra football right there. And hopefully, the dog walkers appreciate it a little bit. And and our spouses and significant others and family don't yell too badly. So, all right, but we'll end the football talk. So, tech toys of summer. We're in our classrooms. Getting through the whole deal. I hear some donuts have occurred. Am I right? Am I right on your end?
It was a combination event today because I get them for my club. The What's Up New Brighton club. It's student run internet show. I said it's informative, it's fun, it's student run. Kids run it. So we had our first meeting of the year today. Brought some new kids in and some of the standard bearers from years past. Went over things and give them like tea, hot chocolate. I should have had cold drinks because it was that warm this morning, but didn't know what they wanted. So had that, some donuts, and then I had to pay off a debt from last week for my one class. And I had so many donuts left over. So I gave them the one on period 8, then period 9 came in. Period 8 didn't remember. I'm like, okay, it's not you guys, but there's only a few of you in class today. And then period 9, I was like, this is, I believe I owe you something. Like, you owe us donuts. I brought them out. Here you go. And they're like, they're already opened. I said, well, I gave some to my club. They're like, we got leftovers. That should be a donutable offense. I'm like, no. We're not gonna pile offense upon offense.
I love how it's now an action verb. That's what I love about the best when they complain.
Like, no, this is they're not leftovers. I bought enough for everybody. So you're getting some. You just happen to be at the end of the day instead of the beginning of the day.
Yeah, well, and I too have gotten on the train, so I did have some errors, but you made sure to set me correct with the fact that you felt like I was slacking on the donut hole on our end because we have a maple donuts, so, not the donuts, but I remember having a conversation with you, and it may have been on the pod. I can't remember exactly. You're like, I think that's a donutable offense, and I'm like, the kids don't know about it yet, so
it was public pod.
it was public pod. I showed up with donut holes on Friday. The best part was when I got to the local donut shop, the one girl looked at me and said, "What did you do? I haven't seen you. School started. Did you make a mistake?" So they know it's usually that scenario. So I went through it. So she gave me the discount on the donuts. It was very nice. Thank you. Shout out to Maple Donuts there. And so I showed up to school and had him hidden and told the kids about it and told them about how, if I make a mistake, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, "Oh man, well, you had to have made a mistake." Like, blah, blah, blah. You're going through all these different scenarios. And I'm like, "Nope, that one doesn't count. I would owe you like 5 million donuts a year." "No, I make that mistake every day." "Nope, don't do that." Like, you're going through the whole deal. I'm like, "But I did make a mistake," and I get the donuts out and I go nuts. And I said, "And you have a friend in Pittsburgh, in the Pittsburgh area, a Western Pennsylvania teacher who's been giving me a hard time, and he wants to make sure that these are showing up." I should have took a picture to show proof, but they got all fired up. And then what it was with them is I talked to them about, I have like an extra like wheelie chair that's got a cushion, and so I'll do a spin wheel, and one kid a day will get it, and they can move it around to their station rotation. They get to sit on that chair. And I told them about it, but I never did it during the week, and I made lots more mistakes with my other math class, but that's just the one I stuck with. But there was a couple other ones. And so then after lunch, then they got to finish off theirs. So because I had more mistakes with them and they heard about it before the other group, they got actual like day old, like full donuts. The other group got the donut hole. So, so yes, it was a good day had by all. They were very appreciative of the deal. But so now I'm really, because today, something happened today. Oh, we're doing math. They're doing decimal division, and I messed up on one of my carryovers. And they're like, "That should be a donut." I'm like, whoa. That's not necessarily what we're talking about here. Because listen, I'm doing it. I'm showing you. We're doing it live together. I go, "You should owe me donuts. You guys didn't catch it right away. It took you a little bit to figure it out." But so they were having fun with that. So it's always neat to have them, on their toes with that. So it's good.
Well, like last year, I had a student, great kid, very dry humor. I didn't eat breakfast. So I had a pack of cheese and peanut butter crackers. I put them up on the table. He was making up a test. He went and he sat down. I go back and my coffee was there, but my crackers weren't there. I'm looking around. The kids are just watching, like the old man's lost and confused. And I'm like, I had crackers. And a couple kids start pointing at the one kid taking the test. And I looked at him. I'm like, "Do you by chance have my crackers?" He's like, "I can't lie. I took them." And he's like, sarcastically, like very dreamy. I can't help it. It's just something I have to do. And I'm like, well, I'll tell you what, you can keep them, but if you keep them, there are no more donutable offenses for the class. He goes, what do you mean? I said, no matter what mistake I make, since you took my crackers and if you eat them, I don't give you donutable offenses. He's like, I could live with that. He opened up the crackers and he gave one away. The kid took it. I'm like, oh, I says, now you're an accomplice. So when you guys don't get donuts, it's not just on him. And he's like mid-chew, and it's like, you understood. I'm like, oh yeah. So guess who's making donutable offenses for the next week?
Oh, rubbing it in. Yeah.
And it was just like, I'm putting like, August 1927 for the date. And like, they were blatant, like, the wrong subject matter. And
so bad.
Like, you're just doing this on purpose. I'm like, I wouldn't do that. And they're like, ah.
I like it. That's good stuff.
We had fun. I mean, it's back and forth with the kids. It is a good game. Keeps me on my toes. And they do the same thing. They push like your kids do. What about this? What I'm like, no. This we can't. This is, if I hit the lottery one day, like, you'll share it with us. I'm like, no, but I will buy you pizza while I'm sitting on the beach and I'll annoy your teachers. Really? I said, really? But it's got to be a big win. And it hasn't happened yet.
The best part, what popped into my head is right now, your daughter's sitting, they're watching the pod, and her roommates are looking, and she's just going, yeah, that's my dad. That's what he's, it's not a lie. That's what he does. So that's going in effect. So that's funny.
You gotta have fun.
Oh yeah. Yep. So it looks like my camera froze there briefly. So we'll see if that glitches out.
At least you're smiling.
That's it, man. It got me in a good pose. All right, good.
Yeah.
Although I look like I'm like coming at you like with cat paws or something. I don't know what's going on. Let's see here if I do.
Usually I pause, turn my camera off, or jump between cameras if you have two cameras.
I'll switch her up.
And then it usually kicks me back up. But while you are playing with that, the gist of the show, the toys of EdTech Toys of Summer. I know you were going to talk. I'm not going to steal your thunder. You had some things you were going to talk about. Usually beginning of the year, I ease back into things because a lot of the tech tools change over the summer. And being at ISTE this year, we got a lot of insight. And we talked about this over the summer, things that were changing. And over the summer shows, we talked about getting back in the groove and, checking out, see what's changing, what's going on, what's not going on. So doing that, I still get into easing back into things because I don't know exactly what my students have had access to, even if they use some of the things like Quizlet. Some of them, like they do flashcards, but they have Quizlet accounts. They don't use StudyStack. They're not familiar with it. Some of the students have used Canva. Other kids haven't. A lot of kids use like the Google Suite. We're a Google school, but we're Schoology Classroom. So, and we have kids moving in. We have a very transient population. So it's like trying to feel things out. And whenever I work with the kids, this first month of school, I kind of do baby steps. My philosophy is I want the kids to get comfortable with the tool. So when I'm giving assessments or when we're doing stuff in class and they're getting graded on it, they're not going to suffer because they don't know the tool. And it's the content I want to focus on. But if a kid's doing it now, it's Wayground. It used to be quizzes. If they have to get a certain score, they're taking an assessment that way or doing practice. Usually it's practice activities, and if they get a minimum score before I let them move on. I want it to be because of the content, if they're struggling, not because they don't know how to use the tool. Same with Canva. Some of the other things we use, I have kids that use Prezis, which surprised me because that's more of a professional level, but I have kids whose parents use it for their work and they use it for their presentations. Still do the Kahoot coming out of the gate with, information about me. And then we go into the project the kids do. And I haven't posted it yet online on my class wiki, but they do an all about themselves to give me information about them, keep it school appropriate. They use Canva. They can use Google Slides if they want, but I prefer they get something out of Canva. They can make a poster or a presentation. And from there, they submit it to me, no last names. So we go over appropriate usage, things that they can do. Hey, you're back.
Hey, man.
Just talking about my All About Me project and appropriate use with a Canva, showing them what they can post, how not to have too much white space if they go black and white. I'm big into like the old school kind of that stoic, but don't have just a lot of blank space. You make the font. Working with the different tools that I use regularly, get the kids into it and get them practice. So when it counts towards grades, the information is based on, or the grades based on the content, not that they're trying to learn the tool and the content at the same time.
Yeah.
And, I use TikTok now. I've been pushing more stuff out, and the kids will be like, I saw you have a TikTok channel. I'm like, yeah. And I have an Instagram for the class. I have a private Instagram, which is private and it's locked down, personal. But then I have the public, and I put stuff on. We saw your Instagram, and I use different tools, and I'll push out infographics from class, what we learned this week, pictures of the kids, scores or activities we're doing in class, and I push that out through there. And the kids are now put messages out through TikTok for them, and they're like, it's almost like, you have a TikTok. I'm like, yep. And like, it's weird. I'm like, yep. Yeah, but it's all school appropriate. So
right. Yeah, and that's a tough line for us being in the sixth grade. Was in the middle school, now upper elementary, but because again, kids shouldn't have those accounts because not 13 and over, all that jazz. Yeah. So we do have an Instagram account we use. It's just a team one. We'll post different things, different spirit days or whatever. We'll put some pictures out there, all that jazz. But I will say there was a time where we were using that for taking pictures of our homework board and posting pictures on Instagram, putting them out on Twitter, not obviously prior to TikTok being around. And I will say that the parental interactions on Instagram and Twitter were a lot more than emails, and so that was pretty nice. So yeah, that's, but I do enjoy, I crack up, the family cracks up at your TikToks. I will say that. And
thank you.
Some good stuff there. So yeah, I do appreciate that. And it's good. And that you got to be where the kids are kind of a thing, and I do appreciate that you do that. So it's good stuff.
And, I get the some kids will turn in work late and they'll be like, well, I didn't get it done. I didn't like it. I'm like, well, what didn't you like about it? And they'll be like, well, when I was trying to record the audio, I kept mispronouncing words and there'd be pauses and I'd stutter. I'm like, so obviously you don't listen to my podcast, nor do you listen to the PAECT podcast. Because if you did, you would see that I said, I do that a lot. I said, and I told you when I give the directions, but beginning of the year, it's not an issue. As the year goes on, we tighten things up. We kind of push things a little bit. And then at that point, if they're having trouble with it, not a problem. As long as they show that they were trying. Some kids get very nervous. But it's like if you grab something you haven't looked at it yet and you're trying to stumble through something that you didn't create or have no part in, that shows that's not acceptable. Practice it, come back with it. But I tell them, like, don't sweat it. Like, if you listen to my podcast, I put that in the end, the disclaimer, the stumbles, the ahs, the ums, the mispronunciations. This is my undoing. Please send constructive criticism my way. It's, it's part of life.
Well, it's funny. This is the time of year, speaking of the ums and the ahs. So I don't know how long I've been doing this. I tell the kids about 400 years. And I always call it, Mr. Verno's public service announcements, or I'll say canned speech 236. It's one of those two, whatever mode I'm in, But there's always those things you tell the kids every year. So that's usually my canned speech. If we're having some issues, I'll call it public service. But I joke, I tell them, I said, listen, like, when Mr. Verno, played football in college, the kicker was bigger than me. And I said, I saw the field. I did get playing time. I did stuff. I go, but do you think I was really nice to people in order to be able to get that? Like, I was a small guy. I'm like, you know, when you see these guys in the pro football and the flag's thrown and you know they weren't the one that did it and somebody else did it, I go, I made a living on that. I would just pick at people. I would do things, give them a shot in the back of the back or in their back when the ref wasn't looking. Little things like that to get them. And then when they took a swing at me, boop, flag on them. And I would just start laughing and would get them frustrated. I go, but I kind of had a bad, you know, I had like a potty mouth. Like I wasn't a nice person. And I said, you know, and I said, I had to, when I had that realization, I'm going to teach kids. I probably shouldn't continue to talk like this. And they're looking at me. And I'm like, so I had to clean up to what I was saying. And I go, and you know, some of you need to clean up what you're saying too. And they get this look. And I'm like, you've got the recess mouth. You've got the backyard mouth. And you got the in front of a teacher, in front of the mom and dad mouth. And every so often those lines cross. And oh, the faces, you know, those kids are like, oh, you know, I was like, a couple of you were just busted the other day talking in the hallway like you were on the playground and nobody could hear you. And but I talk about the ums and the uhs, and I said, and my claim to fame, Dom, and I tell the kids, I said, listen, I was saying this before Inside Out came out. So part of my speech is I say, you know, and ah and like are fillers that people use. And I said, because when you're talking and you're trying to think of a word, I said, there's like a little person in your head going, Burga. They're going to think we're stupid. We got to say something. They're going to think we're stupid. And I said, Inside Out, somebody from Pixar stole that from me. And I said, and I go, and your body, your brain reacts. And it's like, we're going to help them out. It hits a button and what comes out? So I go through that. I'm like, you sound more intelligent when you breathe than when you and So we talk about that. And we had, let's see what else was in. So there's my and then now they're at the point. So now I made everybody aware of it. It's like that broken glass, you know. Now they know, and now every time somebody says it, they can pick up on it. And I had a couple others. We have, just silly things happening. But the other one I talk about is, and I jokingly tell the kids, I'm putting my dad cap on. I'm not Mr. Verno teacher. I'm Mr. Verno the dad. And I was telling you, and I know you didn't hear about it, but there was one that was real big a while back and kids still do it today. You know, when they say, if you give a problem like, what's 9 plus 10 or whatever, the answer is going to be 21. And they say 21. And I'm like, and I said, you guys don't know, but this was big back when Vine was big. And they're like, oh, we know Vine. I go, you don't know Vine. Vine's defunct. I said, that was like the original TikTok, the original Reels, the original Shorts. I said, but you see videos that have the watermark Vine on the bottom. And, but the video is a dad really making fun of his kid. And because he doesn't know math. And this kid thought 9 plus 10 was 21. And the dad's hammering him. Well, all that bad stuff's cut out. And just the kid saying it is in. So and the kids kind of gave me a look. And I said, now, how many of you never heard that story before? And they raised their hand. I go, that's right. But it's like when you're the librarian and your language arts teachers are saying primary sources. Going back, what's the origin of this? Why is this so funny? You know, 6'7", what's the story of 6'7"? Oh, you know, and all that jazz. Like, you know, I said, you want to make sure you're not saying stuff that has bad origins, you know. Doesn't make you a bad person if you don't know what it is, but just be careful. So today was public service announcement conversations and then, yes, and I was telling you that I had a girl that we got kids that are just, you know, it's a fidget toy. I go, no, it's a toy because you don't have permission to have that. A girl had a plastic chicken out. And I said, in over 2 decades of teaching, I've never looked at a student and say, put your chicken away. But I need you to put your chicken away and focus on math. And I was like, I can't believe I said that. I literally went out in the hallway like during rotations, and one of the other teachers saw me. I go, I had to tell the kid to put their chicken away. I've never, ever thought I was going to ever say those words out of my mouth during class, and they were roared. I was like, okay, now I got to go in and be serious. But I'm like, oh, my word. So, yeah. So we kind of had that fun stuff going on. But, yeah, just wild.
Yeah, the kids are getting used to me. Yes, I have sophomores, so it's their second year in the school. And a lot of them don't know me. Even the ones that, like, I had their parents, the kids don't know me. But yeah, we're getting into like the beginnings of World War II. So the whole land grab and the bully and, you know, walk around and go up to the student, one of the quieter ones. And that's a nice notebook or, it's a nice AirPod case. I'll give you $1 for it. And you're like, no. I'm like, oh, come on. Give you $1. No. Like, okay. And I grab it and I walk away. And you're like, go up to someone else. This is really nice. I'm like, guys, can I take this? this will be the last thing I take. And the other kids who's like, yeah, go ahead. And I grab it. I walk away. I'm like, natural resources. If you don't have them, you either pay for them or you take them. I says, you guys were so willing to give away something that wasn't yours because it wasn't yours. The basis of World War II.
That's funny.
And they're like, so now kids clean stuff off their desk, or I walk by that they start like laying across the desk so I can't grab things.
Protect their stuff. The Under Armour commercial. Who will protect his desk? I will. That's funny. All right. Well, here let's show a little bit of. Let's do at least one tech tool. We got a lot of tips of old guys techniques in the classroom, right? Maybe that's gonna be that new segment. All right. So I got my phone app here. So we just have the Google Photos app. Nothing fancy. And so I've used this a little bit. Like I've taken a picture, and it works with when you take a portrait picture. All right, so I'm going to go in here. I'm going to create. So again, this is just the free Google Photos app. So this is a picture when you and I were meeting Saturday morning. Got my coffee going, my P&C cup, the winning color blue, KTI, one of our 3D printed KTI coasters there, and then our computer all set up. So then you go here, and it's tucked down underneath. Hold on, let me see if I can move this up. Get this. Down here it says photo to video. All right, and then it says results may vary. And I'm going to say I'm feeling lucky. So, and then you got to wait a little bit. So here's where the jolly banter comes in, talk. So as it goes through, and I'll do another one with the picture of myself and my daughters. We were on a drive by the river the other day. So it's going to go through, and it works, and it'll take the picture and add an AI element and put motion to it. My one daughter, whenever she's in a picture, it always has confetti flying. I did this once before, and it had the cup like levitating, spinning. So let's see what it does this time. Yeah.
Now, the photo app is free.
Yep.
And Google Photos you can put on any make of phone, doesn't regardless of the brand. Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it added the smoke, even though it was not
Steaming
that warm
coffee.
kind of a deal. Yeah. So it gives you the steaming coffee. And this is with my free, just a Gmail account. This is not a school account. This isn't Gemini. Just a free deal. So you can
now,
say
can you
like
download that and move that? And I see the share button, so you can move it anywhere.
Yep. So I've done a couple where the kids have been on the playground and smile. They take a picture, then I'll have it do its deal, and then I'll show them later and put it up on the screen. They're like, "We weren't doing that." I'm like, well, "Obviously you were," but it's just the AI kind of going. So I'll just do one regenerate, and then we'll go to one that has people in it and have it show that deal. My daughters, of course, don't care for me using AI, and they'll talk to me about how much water was consumed during the making of this AI, and giving me a hard time. So I can't wait till your next trip to Slippery Rock when you get to use this and take some pictures of your daughter and her. All right, one more time. This is like watching paint dry here. Oh, so yeah. So I know where look at that. Somebody's picking the cup up, and even gives it like a little bit of the tilt. That's why I kind of like that little bit of the tilt going.
Yeah.
So there's that, and we'll go. Let's dig up. I clicked on the wrong screen. Let's go into another. All right, so we've got our river drive, and it only works with a portrait shot. All right, so I got a portrait shot here, nice sun in our face, and I'll just do the I'm feeling lucky, and we'll just do this one more time, and this will be the last one. Of course, when they find out that this is on YouTube, they're not going to be very happy with me, but that's okay. They won't check LinkedIn, so they won't know. My oldest will see it on LinkedIn. All right, but yeah, so we're near the Susquehanna River. That's a place called High Points Park. We were up there and just taking a drive one day, and decided to kind of pull alongside of the road, and the girls wanted to take some pictures of the water and the landscape and stuff. Really nice. So that was our selfie together. Remember, it's a still picture, just a portrait picture. Just turn the phone around, had it take it. Of course, after 3-4 retakes because their hair wasn't good. Oh, there it is. It's confetti. So it likes doing confetti. But again, it looks like we're moving and we're not. The car, if you see the background, like we're driving, we're not. We're standing still.
Very subtle movement.
Yeah, but just that in, like, again, we were fully parked, not driving, and then you just got that going in the background and confetti flying. So yeah, kind of interesting, but just something that, again, whether it's personal use, whether it's use in your classroom, but it's the free Google Photos app, but that's just with a free Gmail account. I've not even messed to see if it does work with our school accounts, but like I said, so we use Google Photos to back up a lot of our stuff. So yeah, so it's kind of cool when you can kind of go there and have it and just create. And if you put in a landscape style picture, it's going to preset a chunk of it. You can't edit and move which part it takes. So again, just works best when you push in a a portrait picture for it. But yeah, so kind of a neat little tool there. So I know we were talking about it a little bit before. Then the other thing I was going to show. Oh, good.
No, go ahead. Finish it. I'll jump in.
I was just going to say, I know you were talking a little bit before. I was able to hear you a little bit when I had to do a quick reboot. But the whole Wayground changed this year.
Yes.
So got some Wayground, and I was joking, like, I'm officially a game changer. My sticker came in the mail. Got this right here. So got my official sticker set up, and my coffee cup's upstairs. I don't have that, but I got my t-shirt. So all fired up, little new Waygrounds action. And so I was getting this set up. One thing I really enjoy is the ability in Wayground to be able to pull in a PDF. So this was a PDF that I literally uploaded it. I uploaded it last year. But what's neat is I can go in and say, okay, well, I'm looking at this question here. I can click on, I can edit, see the way it's laid out, look at your different elements here. All right, so I'm gonna hit cancel. But over here, I can say, all right, I want to add similar question. And it's going to generate a new question with AI and kind of go through. Now, it gives you like 3 different options to kind of pull in of which one you like. All right, but then here, so it's like you said, a new one. So I can add it if I want, or it's going to add those. Okay, so it automatically added these 3. So I'm going to hit change or accept changes. So it pulled those 3 in. So if I want to go down and look at one down here, and then the other, you could automatically, like I said, add similar questions. If you need to translate the quiz, generate the flashcards. When you first pull in, and it gives you different styles. I mean, what they're doing is really cool stuff. So if you're looking for a great way to review, so I was able to go in, set this up, and I have it said, the students have the link. So they're going to be going in and practicing during rotation work, during independent station. They're going through, practicing the questions. I have it set up that they can do it multiple times. And a cool feature is if I wanted to do a live activity with the kids, there's 2 ways you can do it. I could do a teacher-led, and that's literally question by question on the screen, read it out loud, have the kids do it. But I like setting up on the student paced, and they really enjoy this mastery peak here. I'm going to make it a little bigger. So as the kids work, they climb up the mountain. And I think we talked about this maybe last year before, but I really like setting that up. And, again, what level is mastery? I always crack up that a lot of standards is 80% is mastery. It's kind of like at least it's better than the weather, 40% chance of rain. They're going to be good. And then you can set the duration of your sessions. You can pull in, there's a new one with anti-cheating pieces, and then fine tuning the mastery pieces and the different numbers that you want to look at. And it is really cool that when you go through, you can actually select your class, and you can actually go through and add accommodations. So some kids might have a calculator, some kids might have read out loud. So you're able to kind of go through and like edit your options, right? So just to look at here, we got, read aloud, extra time, different, a student might have more than one attempt, reduce the answer choices. So again, and it's going to know what the right answer is. So it's going to reduce, take 1 or 2 away.
The kids don't see that. Other students do not see that, which is beautiful. Yeah.
So love it that you're able to kind of like kick it through like that. So it's definitely sharp. So you enjoy using Wayground. Yeah.
The one nice thing with Wayground, and I've been using quizzes, formally quizzes for a while.
Yeah.
You have the question banks to pull from. It's easy to share questions. It's easy to copy. So what you could do is have a copy that you're pushing out for homework, make a copy of it. So it's staying with the kids. They're working within that, change it up a bit. Rotate some things around, questions around, bounce things around, and then you could run the live. I haven't done the mastery peak yet. That's pretty cool.
It's kind of like a set it and forget it, and the kids they'll do it in rotation, but I'll have it up on part of my screen, or I'll pull it up every so often to show where the kids are at, and it just shows them kind of bouncing up the thing like they're traversing, the Himalayas, whatever the case may be. So yeah.
And I've done that. I used GimKit a couple times. I get frustrated on GimKit because I'm not good at the one game where you kind of have to. It's like Mario Kong, where you have to go up and like jump and do things. And I'm not good at it. I get to a certain point and I quit. And I'm helping you guys, and the kids are like, you're just afraid to move up the hill. I'm like, yes, because I've fallen 3 times already when I was practicing this morning. Like, this is the highest I've gotten today. I'm staying there. And I walk around and I check with the kids. I'm like, you have to understand, I grew up playing like Atari Pong. So that was my first video game. This is beyond my ability here.
Yeah.
But
No,
the
that's
one
good
game
stuff.
kit I always get suckered into playing around winter break is the snowball battle. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm running it on my big screen TV in the front of the room through my computer. So the kids always see where I'm at. So I have to sneak in on another computer and play as another character so I don't get thumped all the time. But yeah, the Gim kit, Wayground, I've used Review Game Zone beginning of this year. And it's nice to give the kids anymore. Even Review Game Zone has an AI component and it's free. So you can shuffle questions, make similar questions rather quickly. Now you're doing the math. I'm doing, the history and basic facts that way. But, I put them up and we use Schoology's or LMS. So I have a whole folder dedicated here are the review games. And like Review Game Zone those games are active forever. I show the kids, here's how you search, and it's in directions. Search my name. Here's the library of games I have. Wayground, you can go. I forget, they extended how long you could keep, like no time limit. It's like a couple months.
Yeah.
These games are open. Kahoot, same thing. GimKit, I use the free account, so I can't assign that. But here's what we're gonna do in class. Here are practice modes. Here's Quizlet. Here's Study Stack. What fits your learning style, what fit you're comfortable with game-wise, there's the review. Like you can do whatever you need. There'll be some times when you have to do what I request.
Mm-hmm.
But, I always tell the kids, I said, I'm not trying to sound rude. I already passed 10th grade many, many years ago. So you have to do what's best for you. Like when you're studying or these games, because I have some kids, I want paper. I'm like, okay. I said, now the test is tomorrow. We're reviewing, or the test is in 2 days ago. You answer these questions. When are you going to get them checked? And they look at me and they're like, well, in class tomorrow. I said, okay. So when are you doing this? Study hall. So you're going to go from next period, 24 hours to know whether your answers are right or wrong. And they're like, that's why I said I do the online. I said, I'll give you a paper copy, but check your answers online because you get instant feedback. And I like doing certain things on paper too, but not having that feedback, that's important. This is because you're studying the wrong information possibly.
Right. What do they say? Practice makes permanent. And so if you're practicing and you continually do the wrong thing or get it wrong, or you're doing the wrong steps, that's going to cement in. But that feedback is huge.
Yeah. I show the kids sometimes and I always joke with them. I said, be careful because they were doing, we did a little, not a full web quest, but I gave them note-taking guide and they were looking up different leaders of World War II. And I said, be careful because they're all just getting that first AI pop-up. I said, because you don't know if that's right or wrong. I said, everything you look up on Google, is every website correct? They're like, no. So what do you have to do? We have to fact check. I go, same with this. I go, remember, it's going out on the internet and grabbing information. It could be grabbing stuff from the valedictorian and the kid who's highest grade in the class, and going to be the kid that's playing Mad Libs in the back of the class and grabs their work. Yep. And you have some goofy answers. I said, you got to be careful. So you got to fact check. Okay.
Yeah. And it's the world they're in right now. And, just pulling the different things. And
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you use. You still have to double check the information.
Yeah. Yep. Check your sources no matter what it is. I agree. Yeah. It's
how many times do we miswrite something? That's why we have to pay donuts and donut holes out. We make mistakes too. Yeah.
The real world doesn't accept donuts and donut holes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You gotta make sure you're ready for it. That's good stuff. But so that's currently you're working on rounding out the different things. Of course, I'm using Microsoft Reflection still. Kids do a reflection each day. We're just I'm always in the search for a really good fact practice. Just even still having the kids get some time to do that. And what about, here's a good question for us to talk about. And the final times we have here, a little bit of time we have here. Homework. What is your homework policy? Because I feel like there's so many different ones out there.
Mine is It comes from, it was a battle I was losing.
Yeah.
You know, if they don't get done in class, it's homework. I encourage them to study. I encourage them to do the extra studying outside of class. Whenever I push out the review games, there are some students, and I will tell them, I said, from day one, I usually give you time in class and I will adjust if the whole class is moving forward and this is taking longer than I expect. I'll extend the deadline because I'm not in a tested subject, so I don't have a state test deadline to hit. I said, but if I only have 1 or 2 students, I said, you'll have homework. I said, I might extend your deadline because you're actually trying and you're having some trouble with it, but the class is going to move on. This will be done outside of class because they can't hold up 22 students because 2 or 3 are taking longer. I could help you and you come in during, before, after school, during study hall, and I'll work with you, but I can't hold up the entire class, for that instance, because then it's going to be chaos. So that's my general policy. What do you use? What's your policy?
So, I've been all over the horn, I guess, with different ideas, and it's a little tougher as far as what we don't finish in class, extend it in math. Science, that tends to be the policy, and then math is more, trying to find something that they're able to do. And again, I am a big paper pencil, you got to learn it through your hand model concept with math. But for homework, I kind of have them like, I set up whether it's sites that's going to give them the check, it's adaptive. I don't want every kid having the same question because they're all in different levels of understanding. And so, trying to find that out. So currently I'm utilizing a website. It's actually really inexpensive, MobiMax. And it's, I think, I could be wrong, but I think it's like $600 and it covers our whole building. And we're looking at 1,600 kids. And $600 covers them all. And it's got all grade levels. It's got all subjects. So, I've even used it sometimes for science, but I have it for math, and I have my lower level kids are doing 10 minutes of fact fluency, fact practice in the evening. And the goal is then if they do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if they got 40 minutes of time in, they're good. They don't have any weekend homework. If we roll into school on Friday and they don't have the 40 minutes, they've got Friday night or weekend homework. And I just kind of assigned it that way. But each night there is, and I'm just using, with my higher level, I have a spiral review of 5th grade stuff. So, because again, I'm teaching 6th grade, so some of those concepts. So I just kind of have a paper copy that they're kind of working through. But the goal is to do some other things. Now, I love using the Prodigy Game website, but it's not great. It's tough to measure them doing homework on it. So it's just, finding that thing. But again, the other struggle is, like Prodigy, there's a lot of excitement, but as our other grade levels get excited with it, then it tends to wear out, whereas one of the math fact fluency platforms was Extra Math. Kids really loved it, but they do it a lot at the other levels. So of course, when they hit your class and you're like, oh, we're going to do quizzes, we're going to do a weight round. They're like, oh, we've just done so many of those, we're so, that's all our teacher did last year kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So it's tough to keep it kind of all around and doing different things. But so that's kind of where I'm at right now. But I was just curious. Like I said, that's always, I feel like every year I'm really trying to think about revamping and coming up with a little bit of a better system for that. But that's just kind of how I have it started out. So just foundational at the beginning.
And it's hard because back in the dark ages, even if things were paper and pencil, when we were in school, kids copy. And, so you have some kids that they're just copying answers. They're not really doing anything. They're not learning anything, or they have someone else copy it for them. But I would run into the issue with, is this going to be graded? I don't know. Well, so why do you want to know? Well, you're going to get some kind of points. I don't know if it's participation or from the grade for accuracy. And then you have kids that don't do it. And I would say, we're going to do vocab, go through the book, get the vocab out of the book. Here's the list. Put the definition in your own words so you understand it. And it's a 20-point assignment and the kid doesn't do it. Now they have a 0 out of 20. Well, get this turned into me later. Doesn't turn in. So now the kid has a 0 out of 20 and then they're in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And they're already digging themselves in the hole. and then it just steamrolls, it snowballs from there. And it's like, you're doing more harm to the students than help. The ones that are going to achieve, but the ones that you're trying to help by doing that, they give up. And that was a battle I was losing consistently. And I was like, I got to come up with something different. So it's like, here, like, we'll study, we'll do other activities. Because, I've had kids that I could put their name on a paper, give them all the answers as they walk in the door. Give this to me when I come past your desk in a couple minutes. And I walk past their desk and the paper's gone. And it's just like, where? Like, where did it go? And it's like, they give I don't know. And they don't turn. I always tell them, I said, some points are better than no points. Even if it's not done, turn something in. And I have those kids that don't. And it's, that's, and every teacher has that. But that's, where what kind of is taking me away from, the homework aspect was you have those kids that just don't turn in work. And then you have the kids that were borderline that weren't getting it done and they didn't want partial credit. They just didn't turn it into work and it was putting them in a deep hole.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And I think everybody goes through those, battles and more internal, and just trying to figure out what the best fit is, for them. And there's no one size fits all, but I don't know. It's just a worthy quit. So just so you know, Instagram quit on us because we've hit over 1 hour. We're at an hour and 1 minute. So Instagram has a 1 hour limit. So I feel like one of the talk show guys who's like, oh, I missed my mark to say goodbye to those people. They were logging out. So we missed it that time. But yeah, why don't we
guys going over time?
Yeah, how about it, right? All right, but I think I think we should go over a little bit of what's happening in the PAECT. What do you think?
There's a lot going on with PAECT. We need to definitely hit that up.
All right, here we go. All right, we got to update some of our graphics too. I got to work on that. All right, so we've got our calendar. Let me zoom this in a little bit. So this week we've got, all right, so while we're here live with the pod, our South Central crew, so they're currently doing Tech on the Rocks, mix and fix your workflow. So hopefully maybe they're having conversations about homework. You never know, right?
Yeah.
All right, we'll have to check in with them later and see what South Central Pennsylvania had going on. We got, of course, our board meetings happening on the 17th. Let's see, the 21st at 1:05. The Iron Pigs. Take me out to the ball game. So this is up the Northeast PAECT.
Yes.
Is at Coca-Cola Park. All right, so you're going to catch a baseball game there. So, all right, very good. All right, let's see. From scroll to self-control. Power up with Common Sense's new curriculum. So, again, highly anticipated. All right, so a lot of things going on with Common Sense this year. So, brand new curriculum. Hot off the NDA, file. So that's going to be great coming up. Make sure you RSVP. And then going into October, fall into learning with the PAECT pod. Oh, man, there we go. We're going to be kicking it off, buddy. All right, good stuff.
Cranking out October. I know.
I normally don't like to self-promote there, so I apologize.
Yeah. Going into October, I know there's going to be Pumpkin PD. Right now, there's all kinds. We have the Higher Ed Symposium in November, but for those people, KTI, STARS, other PAECT members that are thinking of presenting, you guys have a ton of great ideas. What you need to do is look in on the calendar, look at PAECT.org, reach out to your regional directors, reach out to us. There's a bunch of events. The Higher Ed Symposium at St. Vincent College in November. Their call for proposals is open. TRETSI, which is Martin Luther King Jr. Day in January. Call for proposals is open. Pumpkin PD, and there's some other PD events virtual coming up that they need people to present. So please reach out to PAECT members. We're looking for people to participate. We're looking for people. I know Southwest had a call for participation for the regional board, people interested. They have a strong regional board, but they're always looking for more people.
Yeah.
New voices add to the conversation. So, from that standpoint, there's a lot out there. Reach out. We're looking for participation across the board. always looking for people to come on the pod and talk about what they're doing.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had people reach out, so we'd love to definitely feature some of our members, some of our educators across the Commonwealth, share about what you're doing, and we'd love to hear from you. So if you want to reach out to us, let us know what you're interested in chatting about. We are very easygoing, so you can email us with the pod ideas, topics at pod@paect.org. But yeah, looking forward to hopefully hearing from you and different things going on. So, all right, man. Well, that's some good stuff that's happening in PAECT. So a lot of great stuff, but I think that's a full show. A lot of good football talk. We went pro football, little college football. We got some high school football, some stuff in our classrooms going on, and and our joys of not having parking lot duty anymore. So it's all really good. So, all right, man. Well, listen, from the 3rd Tuesday in September, so we got some time off before we can kick it. Got the Bloomsburg Fair. We got some different things happening, and we'll be ready to roll and recharge for fall for learning. So, all right, man. Well, I think it's time to say PAECT.
We are
the voice of EdTech
in Pennsylvania
and
beyond.
All right, let's kick it. Thank our sponsors.
PAECT and the PAECT pod would like to thank all of our sponsors. Our Tier 3 sponsors, EduSpire, Tech the Next Step. Our Tier 2 sponsors, ClassLink, more time learning, less time logging in. Teachers First.
Lego Education. Toddle, teacher built, AI first, more than an LMS.
Once again, PAECT and the PAECT pod would like to thank all of our sponsors for the support that allow us to do what we do. Thank you.